Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headspaces. The Headspaces are a series of thoughts and musings I have about stories I pick up during the course of the week, and I chew all over them and I share them with you. And this week's Headspace is called Democracy Isn't Really Taking Place, Is It, Keir? How come you're cancelling the local elections? And is your council being reorganised and affecting democracy where you live? Let's find out. Before I jump into this headspace, I'd like to thank everyone who's been visiting my website and also subscribing on my YouTube channel, enjoying my shorts. I now have 950 subscribers and I'm aiming to get to 2,000. But first I need to reach 1,000. So if you could be the 951st or the 952nd, that would be absolutely splendid, darling. Also, you can like, comment and share, and you can also visit my website, which is deniseheadley.com, where you can make a donation. I am partial to 3 wings and chips, or rice peas oxtail, or chicken and stew, and rice peas salad and coleslaw with a fruit punch. And you can donate that for me, and I can collect it from my local Caribbean shop. So now that I've done all the promos, let's jump straight into this quick story. And the question at the top of the podcast was, democracy isn't really taking place, is it, Keir? How come you're cancelling local elections? And is your council being reorganised, affecting democracy at a council near you? So local elections are due to take place on the 1st of May in many unitary and county councils. However, this is in England. However, in East Sussex, West Sussex, Essex, Thurrock, Hampshire, the Isle of Wight, Norfolk, Surrey, Suffolk and Surrey, these are going to be delayed for a year to allow reorganisations to take place, according to Angela Rayner. Now, when have you ever heard of a reorganisation taking place so that it affects the democracy taking place in a local borough? When have you ever even heard that? When have you ever even heard that a council election has been effectively postponed or removed? I mean, you have states of emergency where countries effectively jettison elections because there is a state of emergency, like what they've done in the Ukraine. They've declared a state of emergency and there's been no elections there, despite the fact that people are calling for elections. But that's only one of the reasons why you don't postpone it. How come you don't? And how come there's 9 local authorities in England, none of which are going to have an election in May? That's historic as far as I can see, and also highly unusual. When Angela Rayner addressed Parliament about it, she said that this will be a generational power shift from Whitehall to the Town Hall. Well, how's that going to work if the Town Hall is shut and it's shut for 12 months? What's that going to do to local democracy? And how's that going to work with the shift, Angela, if there's no elections whatsoever? And what is the basis of these local councils being reorganised? Are they being scrapped? Have you already organised for Google to come in and deliver lighting services, local public services? Have you already invited in American companies so that they can privatise the health services locally now that the council is being, for want of a better word, upgraded with a reorganisation classification? It would be interesting to hear what the local residents think about the upgrade and whether or not it's actually going to make any substantive difference to the public services that they receive locally. Angela Rayner said that she would be seeing the merger of district councils with local county councils to create bodies known as unitary authorities, and these bodies would represent populations of 500,000. But yet they're not ready for the elections that are happening in the best part of 3 weeks. Interesting. I think part of this coordinated vacillation of local authority not local authority services, but local authorities as entities, they have been under attack for years, is to do with the unpopularity of Keir Starmer. I think he's looking at facing a significant loss of seats in the local elections when they're held, because those same councillors, they're very close to the ground, okay? They're more likely to be able to even speak to their constituents because they live in the same streets as their constituents. They don't live, miles and miles and miles away and then come to those areas and, suggest that they're representing the little people when they don't live locally and they've just been parachuted in as a mouthpiece. So I think Labour is looking at a considerable bloody nose at the ballot box in the local elections on the 1st of May, which is about 4 weeks from now. Keir Starmer has a rating of 15% within his own party. Yeah, his party members, 15% think he's doing a good job. It's them same party members that's got to go out there and sell the Starmer message on the doorstep. His popularity rating is even worse with the general public. I mean, he's one of the worst. He has the lowest popularity ratings of any prime minister in the history of prime ministers. So he's not a popular or rallying figure. And his pound shop, pound stretcher Churchill impression has no one's buying that with your Clark Kent glasses on top. Who bought those? Lord Ali? So basically, with the scandals that have ensued around the Labour Party, I mean, they're punching people in the street. That's why there's a by-election in Runcorn. They're taking freebies and free tickets. People are buying their wives' undergarments and clothes, Keir Starmer. Wise man's buying your wife undergarments, Lord Ali. You got Rachel Reeves lying all over her CV, constantly doling out money to the Ukraine and telling everyone who's, poor and disabled, you've got to tighten your belts. And this is, don't forget winter fuel allowance, increased cost for national insurance on employers. And this is the message that you have as a foot soldier need to go out and sell on the doorstep for the Labour Party in the elections. Good luck with that one. So what do? They cancel the elections instead, under the guise that the local authority needs to be reorganised. So is your local authority actually having an election? Have you had any notification that that an election is happening? Have you got your ballot paper? Have you done your postal vote? Do you know where your local polling booth is? Or do you have to wait till next year, like the residents of East Sussex, of West Sussex, of Essex, Thurrock, Hampshire, the Isle of Wight, Norfolk, Surrey and Suffolk? Will you be waiting like them for a year for your election? Is your democracy now delayed? Let me know. And what do you think about that? What's your 2 pence, your 3 cities, or your declining dollar price? Or should I say your declining democratic access? Let me know. Jump up in the DMs, make a donation at denisehedley.com, subscribe, click the notification button, and I will be delivered directly into your inbox, which is splendid and different, darling, just like me and just like you. So come back next week. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week and you enjoyed the show. And it is 8 p.m. every Friday on X. See you next week and cut. Thanks for listening and bye.